For all your TCG needs, make sure to check out alphatradingcardgames.com. What's poppin', everybody? It's the Saber Fighting 4. We have some really premium stuff today. It's going to be the 8 most expensive cards from EX Firered and Leafgreen, the 6th EX series set, basically around the time when we got the first remakes of Red and Blue, or Red and Green I guess in this case. Firered and Leafgreen, they released sets with the corresponding sets with the games, of course. They've done this before with Auras and the other games, and then we got this set. It's really premium because if you guys haven't realized, this is the set where you get Charizard EX, the other starter EXs, and just the Kanto set of the era, you could say. It's not one of my favorites for this reason. I mean, when I think of Gen 3, I think of, the Hoenn region, the Gen 3 Pokemon. But it does have a lot of cool cards I really like, and some insanely expensive cards. You guys should know how it's gonna go. So the rules are like the other types of videos I made for this series. We're gonna be looking at the highest grade for these cards. This is PSA 10. I'm stressing this because sometimes I get questions people don't realize. Is this for ungraded? Graded? It's for graded, of course, PSA 10. I just use scans for the regular cards because it's just easier to have photos of varying quality as opposed to just getting images from eBay auctions and stuff with the card in a PSA slab. So highest grade, we want to look at the most recent sale that I can find with the data that I collect. Most recent sales, so we have a good, accurate, price for the card, and of course the highest price for the cards we find. Some of these cards, like I always say, they don't all sell in 2023. These cards don't sell every day, especially when they're PSA 10s. So some cards might be from 2022 or even 2021, but most of them are 2023, and they are the most recent sale for the cards. So for number 8, we have Clefable EX. This is a very nice looking holographic card. Just in general, the holos from this sort of period up to Unseen Forces, but I mean some of the other sets, they were really just glittery. I don't know a better way to describe it. Just really bright and glittery. Nice holographic technology. And this certainly looks like that in real life too. I have this card ungraded. The most recent sale was in September 2022, and it sold for $341.85. So this is 2022, of course, but it's late in the game, close to 2023, and by then, prices really went down for these cards. So this is a pretty accurate sale price. Like if this would go on sale today, it would be around that amount, I want to say. Maybe a little bit lower, but never know, maybe even higher. Now, competitive wise, this card, I mean, the metronome is kind of a cool trick. You can copy one of the defending Pokemon's attacks and do it. What can make it dangerous is that you don't need to copy the energy. So like if your opponent has a big, I don't know, like Salamence EX that can do high damage, you can just copy a crazy attack like that with metronome and just do it for 2, no problem. So that's the gimmick on it, I guess the best thing about it. Stats are standard, you could say, or maybe low, some people would say. 100 HP, it was kind of standard, but there's stage 1s with more HP that were EXs. Bottom stats kind of typical, and then you have a conventional 40 for 2 attack if you can't copy anything good with metronome. This wasn't exactly, I don't want to say a bad card, but not the most super competitive card either. It would be used as a tech if you were going to use it somewhere. I think Jason Klasinski might have at least one deck where this card is featured as a potential attacker, but I'm not too sure. Maybe I'm not remembering right. But this is Clefable. Then for number 7, we have a legendary bird, actually, Articuno EX. Most recent sale was in September 2023. This is extremely recent. I mean, it's just a few months ago, pretty much. And it sold for $405. So this is perhaps a good estimate of how much a card like this goes for now, because the sale is just so recent. But I don't know, I mean, I would rank these cards, these types of cards, a lot higher, because this is a very special type of card. It's not just a regular EX. Just like I've explained on the Hidden Legends video, the legendary birds and then the Regis and EX and Legends over here, they're EXs with a special type of layout that we didn't really get much. This sort of shattering glass, or what's a better way to describe it? Hollow sort of technology that you can just only see in these cards. And then in the Rise and Rivals Rotoms in DP. That's it. I don't think this technology was ever used again. As far as playability, you guys can see that this is just a basic EX and it already has more HP than Clefable. So this is what I'm talking about when I say, you know, the stage 1's just having 100 wasn't the best. All of the birds, including Articuno, they have this sort of thing where you play them down on the bench and then you can move it in the active position and then attach all the water energies to Articuno. Something like that. I can't really read it right now. The text is too small. But they weren't exactly, I mean, I can think of Zapdos. Zapdos EX was used, and I guess maybe even these cards, they can be used as good attacking techs perhaps, to just quickly power them up and then attack. It only does 50 for 3 though, nothing really too impressive. But collectability wise, I mean, this is Articuno EX, it is a beautiful card. I do not own this, I only own, or I think I might have bought this and I forgot. I know I got Zapdos. I don't know if I have Articuno and Moltres though. I'm not too sure. But yeah, very, very recent sale. I mean, if this was 2 years ago, this was definitely going to be a lot more expensive in a PSA 10 form. And these cards are definitely rare. So if you collect them, it might be good. I think in the future, you know, these types of very unique cards, they are going to go up. But maybe I'll be wrong. Nobody's going to care. Who knows? Now we move on to number 6. This is going to be Gyarados EX, once again, well, not the most recent sale, but it is in 2023, January at the start of the year, sold for $511. So, simple number. This card definitely just isn't really competitive. I mean, it can do 100 for 5, which other Pokemon did back then. Maybe not stage 1s, but stage 2s like Sceptile would do this, and other Pokemon, maybe they do like some amount on the active and then some on the bench. It would add up to 100, but it's not that good. I mean, it's just very difficult to power up. Even if you would use something like Blastoise EX, which is ironically in this set, you could do stuff eventually with the hold-on Pokemon like Castform and power up things like Steelix EX and Lugia and just better Pokemon than this. But I mean, as far as the stage 1s go, you know, it has that 130 HP. It's ahead than all the other cards we looked at so far, HP-wise. And it doesn't have a double weakness or anything super bad. Stat-wise, a good enough EX. 6th most expensive card here. There's not really much I can say. I mean, it looks menacing. It looks cool enough, I guess. This I know I don't own. EXs from this set are extremely expensive, even back in the day. I'm going to talk about this as we get into the bigger and better, more expensive cards. But I know I don't own this. Or if I do, I forgot about it or is in bad condition. But I think I don't own this. Anyway, moving on to number 5, it's going to be Moltres EX. Now this is almost, not double, but a lot bigger difference compared to Articuno. So the most recent sale is in 2021 in March. That was the last sale I could find for this sort of card. $660. This was a while ago, definitely, so you can say, oh, that's why it's so much more expensive than Articuno. But you got to think about it. I mean, why didn't this sell more recently? Is it rarer? Who knows? Maybe if it sold, it'd be still more expensive. But Moltres is the same idea with Articuno. The shattered glass sort of hollow technology for an EX, almost like a secret rare in the set. Same HP, you know, pretty good for a basic. They do the same trick with the Poke Power. You play this down, it can go active, you move the fire energies to this, and then it has a 3 for 60 attack. Does some stuff, I don't know, I don't remember. But very, very nice. I think out of all of them, I mean, Articuno looks beautiful. I think Zapdos might be my least favorite, even though I own it. Moltres just might be maybe the coolest looking, or maybe, I guess Articuno, the sort of shattered glass, just suits it fine because it's an ice Pokemon. But Moltres looks great too. Very nice. And as a fire Pokemon, I mean, if you really want to, you could use this in like an Fire Starter Blaziken deck, and at least you got some synergy in that too. Alright. So this is Moltres. Then we go to number 4, the first beloved starter for the Kanto region. We have Venusaur EX. Most recent sale was in August 2023. Recent enough, you gotta admit that. And it sold for $832. Now we're going into the big stuff. I think people expected Venusaur was gonna be the least expensive compared to the other starters. It's always like in third place. I mean, it's really cool though, and I think it's maybe the most unique. It has that sort of thing, more sparseness, is that a word? Compared to Blastoise and Charizard. Blastoise was competitive, Charizard is just too iconic. So this is kind of, I don't want to say more rare, but it gives you that impression. But it's pretty cool. Stage 2, 150 HP, standard stats. Energy Trance, I believe it's the sort of ability where you move grass energies around. Other Pokemon have had it. I'm pretty sure it's exactly the same as the Sceptile from the era, only there's an EX. You do 90 for 5, that's not that good, but the idea is you're supposed to conserve energies and then you can easily do this. I don't really think it was that good competitive-wise. I can't remember it being featured in any of Jason's decks on his WordPress page. I mean, if I would use a Pokemon like this for this Pokepower, I think you're probably better off using Sceptile. It's going to be much weaker and it won't really be able to attack for shit, but at least it doesn't have the risk of being a stage 2. The problem with Venusaur here as well is that it has that dual weakness, which it's one of my gripes with the EX era, you know, the double weakness on Pokemon that weren't that good. Like some stage 2s, they're not even that good, like Metagross last time, and they give them like double weakness. I don't think that's fair. But anyway, this is Venusaur, not much else to say. It's an iconic card, expensive card from this set. You might want to collect it if you're going to be serious about getting the best cards from Fire and Leafgreen. Okay, now we get into the top 3. And for number 3, it's going to be Blastoise EX right after Venusaur. But the price difference is quite vast. It's $1,365.38. Extremely recent sale once again. This is in 2023 in March. This is a very iconic Pokemon, not just because it's Blastoise, the starter in its NEX. This was a very competitive Pokemon in the LBS deck, or BLS deck as I like to call it, like the Yu-Gi-Oh card. With Blastoise, Steelix, and Lugia. You use this Blastoise EX to get water energy acceleration on your guys, and then you can put the energy back, put in like a Holon energy like Magneton or Cast Form, and you get better energy acceleration for all types of energy that way. And then you can use things like Steelix EX and Snipe for 100, do some really broken stuff. Definitely a very iconic and very competitive Pokemon. Even if you didn't want to go in this direction, you can just power up a bunch of water Pokemon with water energies and you were still good. Because the way this Pokepower works, it also makes Blastoise a better attacker than Venusaur, if we would make that comparison. It does 80 for 4, but with his effect, I mean, you can just power him up quickly. And it just has a weakness to lightning too. I mean, just one weakness. It's just so unfair. They gave Venusaur the dual weakness and it wasn't even as good as Blastoise. It's quite sad. Retreat is the same at least. Like if they even gave Venusaur a bigger retreat, it would have been even more shit. But I mean, this is Blastoise. I don't really know what else to add. Very, very expensive card. Like I remember I had the chance to buy this card many years ago and I wasn't buying them because they were more expensive compared to other EXs. Like back in like 2016, 2017, I was collecting a lot of these EX cards and I would get most of them for like 10 euros, maybe even under, in pretty good condition. I would make like exceptions for some things like Rayquaza EX. You would pay like up to 15 euro to get them in mint condition. But then this Blastoise, it would go around like 20, 25. I would be like, nah, it's too much. Just think about how much it's going now for ungraded. It's crazy. And that's why I missed out on a lot of these EXs from Firered and Leafgreen. They were just more expensive because It's the Kanto generation. A lot of people, I think, that would only care to collect wizard stuff and like the base set stuff, they would still want to get like EX versions for Blastoise and Venusaur, the starters, and these types of Pokemon from this set. So because of that, because it's Blastoise, that's why it's just more expensive and more sought after compared to other Gen 3 EX Pokemon. It sort of adds up when you think about it. But regardless, it secures its spot at number 3. Maybe you guys thought this was going to be number 2, but no. For number 2, it is going to be the motherfucking Gengar EX. Most recent sale was in 2021 in December. That's pretty much 2022, you could say. $1,623. Now, maybe some of you think it's a surprise. Maybe you see, oh, it's because it's 2021. But I'm going to tell you, even if this card sold at around the same time as Blastoise, there's a good chance it still would be more expensive, or at least it would have been close. I know this because this Gengar EX, it's Gengar, it's still a popular Pokemon, but it's just quite rare. I don't know what it is about it. I remember trying to pick up this card once again in 2017, I think, and it was already crazy expensive, even ungraded. Same story like with Blastoise. It's just an expensive card. It's really good. It's one of the stronger Gengar cards in a way. It's Gengar EX. It has a double weakness, which is crap, but at least it has a double resistance too. That's useful. It's got that Poltergeist. This is best used if you're going to do like the double battle format in Gen 3. So you could have something like Vileplume EX active and then this guy active. Block trainers, and then Poltergeist is going to be more effective. Kind of like the Valgar in many ways from Gen 4. And then Prize Count is also a very good attack. If you're behind in prizes, basically you do 100 for 3. So can't go wrong with that. Like seriously. But this is a very, very good looking card, and it's extremely expensive. You guys can see. And I'm pretty sure, I think it's just a testament to it. The last sale was in 2021. It just doesn't sell often. There's not a lot of these around, especially in PSA 10. Even though it's not one of the Kanto starters, it is pretty sought after. So it secures its spot at number 2. I know some people would still be surprised this was ahead of Blastoise, but even if it wasn't ahead of Blastoise, it'd still be ahead than Venusaur, which is still something. It's Gengar. So that's number 2, and then for the obvious number 1, with an insane difference compared to the other rankings, compared to the under 2. We got the typical, the overrated, but this one is one of the cards that's not overrated, one of its versions that it is very impressive. The fucking Charizard EX went for $5,100, 2023 September. Super recent sale at this crazy price. Like, damn, 5 times or almost 4 times, you could say, almost 5 times the price of Blastoise. It's just crazy difference. I remember this card like in 2021. I'd see like auctions, or not auctions, like buy it now prices, just very few copies. I think there was 1 copy. 2021 PSA 10 going for $50,000 or some shit, or $30,000. So it's definitely a big difference compared to 2 to 3 years ago, but still, $5,000, extremely impressive. Charizard EX and PSA 10, expensive as all fuck. Now, this is pretty cool because, back in the day when we were young and dumb, even me, like I would like Salaman's cards and even Charizard, you see these big numbers, 200 for 5, you're thinking, yeah, crazy amount, it kills anything in one shot. Really, to power up this guy is going to be almost impossible, even if you use it with Firestar Blaziken. But it's just that iconicity. The artwork is amazing too, the holofold technology on it, just a perfect fit for Firered and Leafgreen. It's a lot of Charizard cards are fucking overrated, and it's just an overrated Pokemon in general, but this is one of those cards that is truly iconic, and I can see why it would be so expensive as fuck. Like anybody, even people that don't give a fuck about, Gen 3 EXs, the Gen 3 era, if they would be collecting Charizard shit, or just, yeah, Charizard cards and Just looking for the most iconic cards around, this is one of them, no doubt. So securing spot at number 1, obvious, easy, Charizard EX. Most expensive motherfucking card from here. Should I talk about anything else? I mean, we won't be able to power him up. The Pokebody is gonna help him maybe, making all energies on it fire, but it doesn't really matter. It's got a double weakness, lightning and water, better retreat and more HP than the other guys. So yeah, once again, that favoritism. But it wasn't competitive, it's just because it's Charizard EX. That artwork, you know, breathing fire, the hollow on it, it's just too good to pass up. Okay, so this is the end of the video. I've covered Firered and Leafgreen. From the next set, Team Rocket and on, when I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna leave some time as we go into 2024 for people, I guess, to buy these cards and we can get some data. Like I've said, these cards don't sell every day, so it might be a while before I do the next most expensive cards video for the EX era. And from the next set, Team Rocket returns, we also get gold stars too. So to make it more fair, because the gold stars would be more expensive than all the cards from the set, I'm gonna bump it out to the 11 most expensive cards from each set, not just 8, so that I can include like the gold stars and shit. Alrighty, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, share it with your friends, and I'll see you guys next time. What-ai?